So last week, just as I'd finished talking to Anya, she mentioned this amazing project about all about backyard gardening in Turks and Caicos. Luckily, the camera was still rolling, so we kept on recording, and I just had to share this little snippet of a conversation talking about how a real community-led initiative made such difference when it comes to sustainable agriculture, community building, and really just introducing a more nature-based way of growing and eating in the Caribbean. I say toward the end, if you want to steal this idea and do it in your island, please do. How amazing would it be to have backyard gardens all over the Caribbean at a time where eating healthily, making sure that we have access to food is such a priority? I'm sure you can agree with me that keeping the cameras rolling really did make sense in this one. So yeah, love to hear your thoughts and check out what Anya had to say.
I actually started backyard farming here, me and my friend Faye.
Oh no, I should have
So
asked you about that.
yeah, during I forgot to mention it, during lockdown, we started this group, and it's maybe about 2,000 plus now, because it's strange. You live in the Caribbean, but all the food is imported in some countries. And when I came back, in my mind, I was like, oh, fresh fruits, fresh this. And I was like, no, all of this is coming from America. So we started this backyard farming movement during lockdown. And right now, most of the households are basically, producing. And it was just beautiful to see this movement grow. And the reason I wanted to kind of get into the sunshine was to become like a backyard farmer and grow my own food, and the whole concept of from farm to plate. And it's really been a journey to do that, and I feel a little bit more freedom in having control of what you eat as well, and just a little bit of fresh air was what I wanted as also.
Wow, absolutely. How did you start that? How did that come about?
um it was lockdown. We had some issues with the boats. Well, not really boats, but it was kind of almost like, hey, this is real. Like, our main food supply is coming from the US. And that's when everybody was going crazy over toilet paper. And me and Faye were like, okay, let's see if there's anybody out there who is in the farming community. So if, let's say, for example, we had a food shortage, I shouldn't say that, or we needed some type of produce, we could go to our local neighbor and say, hey, would you like to trade this or trade that? So it's really been a barter system. And from there, we had the big businesses come on board and help out. We've been doing swaps, trade plan. Like, they've been bringing in so much for us to, facilitate backyard farming. And the government has actually come on board as well, which is amazing. So it was just an eye opener, because where I live, there was the salt industry. So everything is very hot. This is why I'm like hot, hot. But like, it's the salt industry. So it was the whole concept that, oh, nothing will grow here, but you have people that are growing pineapples, they're growing all sorts of things in their backyard.
Wow, wow. And so
Yeah.
how were they able do you have like a particular technique that you use that makes it able people to grow or like
Um, well, it's been pretty simple. I guess because each island is different. Each island in Turks and Caicos is different. We actually have one island, North Caicos, that we call the bread basket. So they're so lush and they're so green. You plant anything there and it basically grows. So in Grand Turk, where I live, it's mostly the salt industry. You go to a pond and literally pick up salt. Um, it's basically around, you have to create an environment. So start with maybe like some soil, mix it with a little bit of the earth, maybe create like a small rock garden, a lot of shade. Here, water is really a necessity. So a lot of people have been, starting their own irrigation, even the concept of changing the gray water into fresh water. So that's something that kind of assisted with when it's really dry. So it's, yeah, kind of adapting and reading your environment. A lot of permaculture.
wow, is that something that you were into before?
Yes. So I actually had an allotment in the UK.
Oh, I
So
love
it
that.
started from there.
Yeah, I think the whole issue of food sustainability is such an issue for the Caribbean, not just in terms of how do we feed ourselves, but how do we feed ourselves in a quality way? Like the whole issue of like diabetes being so
Exactly.
prevalent.
Cancer.
Yeah.
That was for me. It was like, why is everybody so sick? And it was like it has to probably be linked. I shouldn't say this, but it has to probably be linked to the food, because before I still have, God bless her, um, Aya. So this lady, Aya, she used to watch me when I was younger. She's like 89. My grandmother is 92. They're still alive and they're still strong. And, in the community, you'll see a 98-year-old just walking down the street.
Wow.
And the way how they eat is completely different as to how we eat. And it goes to show that longevity is with food and activity.
Yeah, no, definitely. And also, what I love about your concept is that in addition to it tackling the sustainability issue, that bit of community building through barter,
Yeah,
through sharing skills and information, that must have been so beautiful to watch.
it was. It literally, um, they're so far so good. It's been everyone's just been, hey, do you need this or you need that? Especially during lockdown, because we weren't allowed to leave the house. We had 1 hour that we were able to go out. So during that time, everybody would leave something at someone's doorstep, or just try to exchange, and it was nothing to say money being there. And it just was beautiful to see, wow, a community can actually operate like this. And it was just so much peace in it. We are actually on Facebook, and you just see people commenting, hey, maybe you should try and do this to your plant, or if you need help, I can come and help you if you need help with your garden. And you haven't seen something like this in ages, especially in this day and time. And it was just so heartwarming and so beautiful. It's like, wow, this is great.
That sounds amazing. It sounds like something you should roll out across the Caribbean.
I wish.
I'm
I think
commissioning
it's
you now.
happening. Maybe maybe um you try it out. I'll come and visit. And I'll
Wow, do
help.
you know what? I'm going to take you on because I mean, in the rural areas of Grenada, most people grow, but in the town, like yeah, there's definitely an issue. And I love, oh
Mhm.
wow, love it. I'm going to put a link to that in the description so people can check it out. But I think if I don't do it in Grenada, someone else please do it in your island, and yeah, we should make it happen.